In this video guide, we will give a brief overview of animating in the scene editor. In this example, we'll be using this public media football here, and we'll just be throwing it around in front of the house. In order to animate, you're going to be clicking this Animate button over here on the right-hand side in the editor menu. And here you're going to have a few different options, and we'll take the time to go through each one of those in order. And we're going to start with just follow path. Now with follow path, you've got the option to select a predetermined shape, or you can select free draw. Now free draw is my personal go-to. So go ahead and click draw path here. And the free draw option allows you to essentially create your own pathing for the item to follow. In this case, I've put together this really simple arch. I mean, it's not a great arc, but it'll do the trick, and we can click save. And now you can see, voila, it is thrown at an arc. It is, however, a very long arc, so if you want to change that, we'll go ahead and go back to animations, and we'll click the gear icon on our previously chosen path animation. In this case, I'll just make it so the animation lasts 2 seconds instead of 5, then update the duration of it. Okay, let's add another animation. We can go ahead and delete the previous one. The next animations we're going to be looking at are the fade in and fade out animations, so let's go ahead and select fade in. Let's say you want it to just last for 0.5 seconds. And then we're just going to do the same exact thing for the fade out, so it's also going to last 0.5 seconds. Now let's play it back, and we can see that there is a fade in, and sure enough, a fade out. The next setting that we can do, again in animations, is a rotation. By default, it sets it to 1 rotation a second here, so let's go ahead and click save, and you can see that it is just, well, rotating at a moderate speed. Of course, that's hardly the limit, so if we really wanted to, we can go back in and edit the rotation to be 100 rotations a second, click save, and spin very, very, very quickly, a little too much to really even see what's going on here. Let's go ahead and delete that last animation. And let's go ahead and delete the other fade animations as well. And we can have a look at the last animation, which is a scale animation. This is pretty straightforward. By changing the scale percent, you're just changing how much the item is going to grow or shrink over time. If we just take the default settings of 100, then click the save button, we can look and see that, yep, sure enough, it is just growing over the course of 5 seconds. Of course, you can change this to however big you want, so let's change this to 300% just because. And it is now much, much, much bigger. And the final thing we want to look at in the animation menu is keyframes, which you can click the Use Keyframes button to access. What keyframes allow you to do is create a much more custom, much more precise animation. When you click the button, you're going to have the option to convert to keyframes, and you're going to want to click Continue. The way that keyframes work is that you can define exactly what position, what shape, and what rotation the shape will be at any given frame. You can see by default we've got the end and start frames, but let's say we wanted to add a keyframe at 1 second, we can just move it up a little bit, maybe change the rotation, and then click Add Keyframe. And now at 1 second we got a keyframe added. And let's do the same thing for 2 seconds, move it a little further along. And let's go to 3 seconds and add another animation. Again, just going to be a little further along our arc. At 4 seconds, we'll add one more. And finally, at 5 seconds, we'll have it at one final keyframe. So one last time, we'll click Add Keyframe, and voila. And now we'll have a complete idea of what the arc of this football is. It's going to be a little wonky. I did throw this together pretty quickly, but you get an idea of exactly how keyframes work.